Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for August 5th, 2013. Wow, what a crazy opening segment we just got. So this one starts off with Stephanie McMahon. She's in the ring. She shows a video of Daniel Bryan's makeover. And he's eating meat. He's trying on suits. He's getting his hair fixed. So Daniel Bryan comes out. He's got this new corporate look. He's wearing a suit and he's got his hair in a ponytail, but he still has the beard. And he gets in the ring and Stephanie leaves and he starts talking about how John Cena is an entertainer and he's a wrestler. And that's why he's going to beat John Cena. If John Cena was fired tomorrow, he could go home to his mansion and all his cars, but Daniel Bryan would go right back to wrestling in front of 30 people and shitholes all over the country because he's a wrestler. I thought Daniel Bryan just killed it with this promo. Very good stuff. So he says he's going to give the people what they want, and that's a new WWE champion. Vince McMahon comes out and basically just buries Daniel Bryan. He says he's short, he has no muscles, his face looks like a gargoyle. And he says that he doesn't want Cena to be WWE champion, but he wants Daniel Bryan to win even less. And then he starts to change his tune a little bit. He says, you know what, you're kind of growing on me. If you really want to be champion, though, you got to get rid of that beard. So Daniel Bryan's like, no, but then Vince says, you're going to have to. You've been fired before. Someone like me you need on your side. And he brings down this big barber's chair and sits it at ringside, and he tells Daniel Bryan to get the beard cut. He's going to bring out a barber, and I was thinking, okay, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, like maybe a Legends appearance here, but no, it's Wade Barrett. This was all very random. So Wade Barrett comes down, he's going to cut Daniel Bryan's beard, and Daniel Bryan gets in the chair, and then he's like, can you just make sure you save this part right here? And Wade Barrett's like, what? So then Daniel Bryan headbutts him, throws him in the chair, starts beating him up, and then shaves Wade Barrett's beard. What the hell was this? So he fights Wade Barrett off, and then he runs up the ramp and rips off the suit, revealing a shirt that says, "The beard is here." Like John Cena's "The Champ is Here" shirt. And he says that he's not going to change who he is. So yeah, crazy opening segment. Then we get RVD versus Del Rio. Miz is on commentary. Miz was flabbergasted or something. I don't know what was up with him. Sounded like he kept botching words. But we see that Ricardo Rodriguez has returned. So they had an okay match, nothing really special. But Ricardo puts the bucket in the corner so that Del Rio can use it. Then it falls. He puts it back in the corner, and Del Rio tries to throw RVD into the bucket, but RVD counters and throws Del Rio into the bucket. And then gets him in a leg scissors roll up for the win. So RVD wins the match here, and Del Rio's pissed off. So Ricardo's in the ring, and Del Rio kicks him in the face, starts punching him. He grabs the bucket, hits Ricardo repeatedly. Then they go to the outside, and he puts his head in between the steps, kind of. This is hard to explain because it wasn't in between the post. It was just kind of there. And then he runs and drop kicks the steps. And Ricardo is out. So, yes, wellness violations will get you punished big time. So Ricardo's finally back after being gone for a month, and the first thing WWE does is basically injure him so that he's written out again. Because this will keep him out for at least 2 weeks, I'm sure. And I have no idea what the purpose is, if they just want to get rid of Ricardo altogether, or if they're going to try and turn him babyface, but what's the purpose of that? Like, I don't know where the hell they're going with this, but anyways, it was an okay match, I guess. Alright, so Cody Rhodes is in the ring, and he's got a box with him. You know it's the Money in the Bank briefcase. So he has Damien Sandow come out. He wants to give the briefcase back. He just says that he spared no expense in retrieving it for Damien Sandow. So I guess he just paid some people to find it. But he's got the briefcase. Damien Sandow says, "You leave the ring and I'll go in and get the case." So Cody does. Sandow runs in. Cody runs back in. He starts to beat him up. And Sandow has to retreat. He doesn't get the case. Cody opens the case and the contract falls out. Damien Sandow freaks out. Then we get Mark Henry versus Ryback. I don't even know how long this lasted. It was very short. And then Ryback just leaves, walks up the ramp, loses by countout. Do they have to do this finish on every single damn show? I feel like I've been seeing this at least once every Raw for like a month now. Somebody will just walk out of a match. What the fuck is this? This doesn't help anyone, and it's boring. And it just pisses off the live crowd and the people watching at home. You know, every once in a while, it's okay. I can understand that. But they've been doing this every single week. So I thought that really sucked. So the Bellas are talking backstage about Total Divas. That hostky Eva Marie walks up and says something about, "What you guys did to Natalya last week sure was silly," or something like that. She's a heel. She's terrible. I don't want to see this girl ever again. Then Natalya walks up, slaps Brie. John Cena comes out, and he says Daniel Bryan tries to glorify his past. He needs to focus on the future. Doesn't matter what you did in some gymnasium. The WWE is the NFL, and all this crap. Fans were shitting all over him, booing him, and saying he was boring, and he was kind of boring here. Then Randy Orton comes out and says it doesn't matter who leaves SummerSlam the WWE title because he's got the Money in the Bank, and that means the champ is here. Then the Shield comes out. What the hell does any of this have to do with the Shield? So they surround the ring. Daniel Bryan runs out, gets in the ring with Cena and Orton, and Maddox comes out and makes the six-man tag the main event. So, alright, so it's Tons of Funk versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan again. And Eric Rowan beats Tensai with the big splash. So the Bray Wyatt family gets the win here. The entrance takes longer than the match. But afterwards, Bray Wyatt gets in the ring. He hits the Sister Abigail on Brodus. Cuts another promo on Kane. He was wearing a badass Hawaiian shirt. I thought it looked really cool. I'd like to have one myself. And then Kane's pyro goes off. And Kane says something about how Bray Wyatt wants to disfigure and mutilate everyone in his path, and he likes that, but he doesn't do it to spread a message. He does it for his own personal amusement, and at SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt's family won't be able to save him from a Ring of Fire. Possible Inferno match, maybe? I don't know what this means, but I thought it was a decent segment. At first I was like, okay, this is the same thing they've been doing, gonna lay out Tons of Funk, cut a weird promo, and that was it. So when Kane's pyro went off, I thought that was kind of special. Well, Punk just cut a promo talking about his match later with Curtis Axel and facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. He says the Beast will be neutered. Then we get Layla versus Caitlyn. And Layla turned on Caitlyn on SmackDown. This big heel turn. She was supposed to be her friend. And the only thing they did to explain this was one of those tiny little video promos during her entrance. So I thought that was kind of shitty. They didn't even give them a backstage spot to explain it. And Layla just says that she wants the attention now, and she's going to do whatever she has to get the attention. So they have the match. Caitlyn is... there was actually a weird spot. Layla runs from Caitlyn and then grabs the top rope and kind of shimmies across it like cliffhanger. Something I've never seen before. But they have a decent match, I guess. But Caitlyn gets ready to go for the spear. AJ runs down to the ring. This distracts Caitlyn. Layla kicks Caitlyn in the head, gets the win, and then Layla and AJ skip around the ring again. So Christian beats Heath Slater with a spear. Nothing else to really say about this one. Then we get CM Punk versus Curtis Axel. There was one spot in this match I really liked where CM Punk does the old Mr. Perfect routine where he wraps his leg up in the other guy's leg and then drops back. And he also spit the gum out and hit it with his hand, which he missed, but he recovered well from that. So they had a good match here. The crowd was really into this one. And Punk takes Curtis Axel down with a kick to the head. And then Heyman's checking on Axel. And Punk runs over and grabs Heyman, and the ref rings the bell. So that didn't really make any sense, but Punk's got Heyman in the ring, and then Brock Lesnar comes out. And Punk's getting ready to face Brock, and then Axel pulls Punk out of the ring. Punk hits him with the GTS. He grabs a chair, but Brock attacks him, and they start brawling around for a while. Punk actually holds his own against Brock, and they get in the ring, and he hits Brock with a chair. He goes after Heyman again, but Brock picks him up, hits the F5, and then hits Punk in the back with a chair like 3 times. And it looked like Punk actually cut his chin, I believe. And so there was some blood here, which I thought helped the segment. And that was pretty much it. I thought this was really good. This is probably the best thing they've done with Punk and Brock yet. So this was definitely some good stuff here. Renee Young's backstage with Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, and Curtis Axel. And Brock Lesnar says, "Is that really the best this world has to offer? I'm the best in the world and I'm the beast. Paul, say something stupid." And Paul Heyman says that next week he challenges CM Punk to a match. Paul Heyman versus CM Punk on Raw. Then we get Fandango versus a returning Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston has new tights now. Crowd was very quiet for this match. Kofi wins with Trouble in Paradise. I didn't think it was anything special. I didn't really care about it either. Then Stephanie McMahon is doing her best to try and act like she's crying backstage. She says her dad just bit her head off. He's lost it. He's pissed about the opening segment. And Triple H says that he's not going to let this ship go down because of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was a creative genius, but that's gone now. It's over. He's completely lost his mind, and he's going to try and do something to hurt Daniel Bryan, and Triple H says he's going to stop it. Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger versus the Usos. I actually thought this was a pretty good tag match here. Cesaro beats one of the Usos with the neutralizer. Then we get Dolph versus Big E, and this match was okay. Nothing special about this one at all. Dolph's taking his crazy bumps. He's trying to use his speed to get around Big E. Pretty much the same thing we've seen before with these two. And Caitlyn comes out, and she starts fighting with AJ. They fight inside of the ring. Dolph tries to break him up, and while he's doing that, Big E lays him out, hits the big ending for the win. And Caitlyn's like, "Oh no, what have I done?" So I would not be surprised if they do a mixed tag match at SummerSlam with Caitlyn and Dolph versus Big E and AJ. Alright, so we get the main event tag match with Daniel Bryan, Cena, and Orton versus The Shield. Match was okay. I actually expected more out of these guys, but it was fine, I guess. Daniel Bryan, actually Seth Rollins pushes Daniel Bryan into Orton. And then Daniel Bryan gets him in the no-lock. And the other two members of the Shield beat down Daniel Bryan, so the ref disqualifies him. So the Shield loses the match. Daniel Bryan and Cena are trying to fight off the Shield. Orton gets in the ring, RKO's Daniel Bryan. So then Cena and Orton are fighting off the Shield. The Shield just keeps running back into the ring to get beat up. And they fight them off, and then Orton RKO's Cena. And he looks at the briefcase, and he's thinking about cashing in. So he gets the briefcase, and he's about to get back in the ring, and the Shield comes back out again. So Orton decides not to get in the ring. The Shield spears Cena, they powerbomb Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton just watches this. He doesn't try to help him or anything like that. And I like the stuff with Orton a lot, because it looks like he's going to turn heel, which is something he desperately needs to do. I still think it's kind of weird that the Shield cares so much about this. I guess if you really look back, it kind of makes sense because Daniel Bryan gave them their first defeat. They did kind of get involved when it was Cena versus Ryback. So I guess if you look hard enough, it does kind of make sense why the Shield would care about this, but it still just felt random to me. Clearly just a way to set up this main event tag match. And the show overall I thought was really lackluster. The opening segment started off really good, but then it got weird. You had matches like Christian versus Heath Slater, Fandango versus Kofi Kingston. And for a 3-hour show, I didn't really get bored or anything, but when you have a lot of filler stuff like that, the show does tend to drag on. So I thought this show could have been booked much better, in my opinion. And when you're this close to SummerSlam, it didn't feel like a lot of stuff happened on this show. You had some good stuff with Brock and Punk. You had the Orton stuff with Cena and Daniel Bryan. But other than that, it was just like any other Raw. So I was kind of disappointed with this week's show. But anyways, that's my review of Raw this week. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments. And thanks for watching. Bye. Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for August 5th, 2013. Wow, what a crazy opening segment we just got. So this one starts off with Stephanie McMahon. She's in the ring. She shows a video of Daniel Bryan's makeover. And he's eating meat. He's trying on suits. He's getting his hair fixed. So Daniel Bryan comes out. He's got this new corporate look. He's wearing a suit and he's got his hair in a ponytail, but he still has the beard. And he gets in the ring and Stephanie leaves and he starts talking about how John Cena is an entertainer and he's a wrestler. And that's why he's going to beat John Cena. If John Cena was fired tomorrow, he could go home to his mansion and all his cars, but Daniel Bryan would go right back to wrestling in front of 30 people in shitholes all over the country because he's a wrestler. I thought Daniel Bryan just killed it with this promo. Very good stuff. So he says he's going to give the people what they want, and that's a new WWE champion. Vince McMahon comes out and basically just buries Daniel Bryan. He says he's short, he has no muscles, his face looks like a gargoyle. And he says that he doesn't want Cena to be WWE champion, but he wants Daniel Bryan to win even less. And then he starts to change his tune a little bit. He says, you know what, you're kind of growing on me. If you really want to be champion, though, you got to get... So Wade Barrett comes down. He's going to cut Daniel Bryan's beard. And Daniel Bryan gets in the chair, and then he's like, can you just make sure you save this part right here? And Wade Barrett's like, what? So then Daniel Bryan headbutts him, throws him in the chair, starts beating him up, and then shaves Wade Barrett's beard. What the hell was this? So he fights Wade Barrett off, and then he runs up the ramp and rips off the suit, revealing a shirt that says, "Red of that beard." So Daniel Bryan's like, no, but then Vince says, you're going to have to, you've been fired before, someone like me you need on your side. And he brings down this big barber's chair and sits it at ringside. And he tells Daniel Bryan to get the beard cut. He's going to bring out a barber. And I was thinking, okay, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, like maybe a Legends appearance here. But no, it's Wade Barrett. This was all very random.